New England's hottest.
What's good? It's your
DJ,
boy Benny
DJ
Blades,
Benny
and welcome back to another episode of the Blades and Friends podcast, episode number 30. All right, everybody. So this is gonna be kind of a tearjerker episode, a little bit, but this one is gonna be a celebration of life for my boy Andrew Reese, aka Ace Diamond. I have his brother on, Big Roo, aka what is it? Aaron Reese, aka Big Roo. We're gonna talk about Ace, about his life, his legacy, his music, and just everything he meant to everyone. He passed away a few years ago, and he is really, 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 really missed by a lot of people to this very day. He was a great dude. So I'm just gonna tell the story. I was telling you the story how I thought of that I want to do this. So me and him have wanted to do this episode for a while. But I didn't get the right time yet. But then the other day, I had one lined up and it fell through. And at the time, I happened to have a CD of mine that I have this guy on, I have Ace on, singing, rapping, and it was coming out of the speaker. As I'm thinking it, I heard his voice, and that's when it clicked. I said, that's it. There's a sign. Now is the time to do this. This dude definitely deserves this. He's loved and missed by so many people, and I'm hoping all you people can watch this and it can, it can bring some happiness to you, and let's all remember him like the great dude he was. So I met you guys through it was first through Anthony Romeo. Shout out to him. He introduced me to DJ Naughty. Shout out to him, and then that's how I met you guys.
Shout out Naughty.
Yep.
Shout out Anthony.
Definitely. We just, Naughty was talking about, before I ever even met him, Naughty was always talking about him. And he was like, oh, we've done so much stuff together. You got to check out his stuff. And I did, and it was crazy. The rapping was good, and the singing was fire.
Go! Could it be? I never heard him before. He about to have it locked, taking over every spot. The world looking at me. What can I say? What can I say? Knocking right at your door. Oh, it's really not a game. You can see not playing. It's a brand new day. Yo.
I was thinking about that the other day. He was kind of the Drake before Drake. There was no Drake back then. He was singing and rapping and singing really, really good. So we did some songs together on a CD that I was putting together. This guy's on a record, Get That Paper, me, him, and Ace. It was still fire to this very day. We performed and everything. Do you remember that?
I do remember
With
that.
Finesse?
Yeah. It's Ace, Benny Blades, and Rue. Let's Rue Diamond and Blades on our way to get that paper. Find every day in the streets, there ain't no lay.
DJ Finesse.
Yeah,
Big up Finesse.
Yep, DJ Finesse was DJing it. Shout out to him. So yeah, we did a few songs, and then we became friends, man. And the reason I know he was my real friend is because there's a saying. They say you find out who your real friends are when you go to the hospital or you go to jail. And I did both, and he was there for me for both of them. I was in the hospital. He came for open heart surgery. He came to the hospital, took time out of his day to come see me in person, make sure I was good. That meant a lot, man. I had friends I've known 20 years that didn't do that. I had only known him a year or whatever, And then when I went away all that time, I know I didn't hit him up all the time, but I did hit him up over the course of the whole bid, and he would answer the phone when he could, and we would talk, and he would keep me in a loop of things, and just, that means the world to me, man. So yeah, he was my real friend, and we'll talk more about that later. But now let's get into you and let's get into him. So he's your brother. So where did you guys grow up?
Well, we grew up in East Providence, Rhode Island.
EP.
Yeah. Mainly, he was born in Providence, Rhode Island. Drew was. I was born in Atlanta.
Oh, wow.
But we met each other around I was 3.5, 4 years old.
Oh,
we
wow.
both met each other around that time, and it was just that was it.
And now you're half brothers?
Yes, we are half brothers,
Okay.
but we've always lived like we were brothers.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So you were in Atlanta and then you came here? What was that like?
Yeah, well, I was born in Atlanta. See, my mother and father were musicians themselves.
Oh wow.
So I was kind of born on the road,
Oh wow.
you know. So I was born in Atlanta, but if I was born I was actually premature. I was supposed to be born in April. I was born in March. So if I was born in April, I probably would have been born in a different state. I was born in
Wow, that's crazy.
So, but I grew up. My father's side of the family is in North Carolina, so I came from North Carolina here to Rhode Island, and that's when I met Drew.
And you stayed in North Carolina for a few years and then came here?
Yeah, I came here when I was 4.
What was that like, bro? That's a huge difference, right? North Carolina to East Providence?
Yeah,
That must be like night and day, no?
It was a little culture shock. I'll definitely tell you that, especially the school system and
Yeah.
you know, things like that. It was different.
And that
you
was
know?
when you guys first met each other?
Yeah, we met each other.
What was that like? What was the first day like? Kind of standing off each other, like.
Nah, the funny thing is we clicked like the first day. We clicked that like from the jump. We really did.
That's awesome.
We really did. We just clicked up, and I mean, it could have been a multitude of reasons. I mean, I think it was just we just like were like one, but I mean, we also were the only boys in the room.
Yeah.
So we could either go one way or another, you know. And we clicked up. you know,
Yeah.
so
How many
really did.
sisters do you have?
I have 3 sisters.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep, 3 sisters. Kaylee, Lindsay, and Terry. Terry's the oldest. Kaylee is the youngest, and Lindsay is in the middle.
And Kaylee's the one that fights.
Kaylee is the one that fights. Shout out Kay, shout out Lynn, shout out
Shout
Terry.
out to all of them.
You know that.
And you said she's up in Philly right now?
Yeah, Kaylee's in Philly. She's
She moved
training.
there for boxing purposes. She moved out there.
Yeah,
Is she
pretty much.
training with some big people out there. What?
She's training for another fight. We'll see if it either, you know, we'll see what the outcome of that is, you know. So right now it's kind of in the works. We'll say.
Okay. So what was it like for you guys growing up, man? You said you guys were close, and you said you grew up in East Providence. So, like, what part? Not where we're at now. Some more like down, like if you're getting off George Washington Street Bridge, you take it left.
No, I grew up in Evergreen Apartments. Shout out Evergreen. This was back in the 80s. Grew up out there. We met. He was on Grosvenor Ave, or I believe he was moving there. At that time, that's where we met at. I think at that point, he was still living in Providence. I'm not sure, but I know for sure we met at Grosvenor Ave at a grandmother's house, which is right behind where there used to be Major Video. Now it's like Blockbuster or whatever that corner. Oh, it's actually a car lot now.
Definitely not Blockbuster.
It's a car lot now, right before you go to the highway.
Okay.
So anyway, we met there, and we clicked up ever since, and it's just been a beautiful thing.
So obviously you both love music. So when is that something you clicked up on right away? Like, was he like trying to rap at the time, or?
Oh no! This is way before anything like
this
that.
is
We
way-
were riding bikes and
Oh, okay. So you guys
hanging out.
kind of discovered like music together, like hip hop.
yeah, we discovered music together.
That's
you know?
dope. Okay, so
There was another person I want to shout him out to, Eugene Hall, G. He was kind of in the mix because he lived like right next door. So we kind of always played around with each other, like played, you know, basketball or baseball or you know, football and stuff like that. He was always around too, and so he kind of was also in the mix as far as discovering music, you know.
So what was the first music you guys got into?
Man, I mean, to be honest, man,
Who was it?
It was like X Clan.
Oh,
It was like stuff like that back in the
I
day,
remember
man.
X
It was like, it was like
Sissy,
Boogie
didn't
Down
they say that
Production,
shit?
Boogie Down Production,
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff like
BDP.
that. Like, yeah, man, BDP. Shout out KRS-One, man.
Absolutely.
Shout out KRS-One.
Who else? So who was So, all right. So then, when did this guy go from listening to hip hop to like to writing raps and rapping? Was he like heavy in high school? Was he in like rapping in the at the lunch
Yeah.
table? Was it like
It
that
started
school
in
for you guys?
elementary school.
Elementary school.
It started in elementary school.
That's when he started writing and spitting.
We were kind of like writing, but not really, just kind of writing as like a talent show, right? Just kind of, this is when Kwame was rocking
you
the
wearing
polka
the
dot,
polka
you know what I'm
dot
saying,
shirts
and all
the
that.
Z Cavaricci pants.
And like, going to USA Skates over here in East Providence.
Oh,
Shout out
yeah,
USA.
yeah.
And they used to have a night, like Friday and Saturday nights. So that's where we would kind of go and hang out. And this is kind of like prior to the music. Right around that time is when like started getting into like
Breakdancing.
writing other people's music first. Like we started to write the lyrics of people's music. And
Yeah.
and then from there we started to write our own and for talent shows and stuff. So I say like middle school. Right around like 7th, 8th grade in Martin Junior High School. Shout out Martin. Yeah, right around that time.
Okay, so when did he start singing then? Same time?
No,
After?
after Drew started singing. Well, you know what?
Was he
Drew was in the chorus, though.
Oh, is that how it started? He
Drew was in the
like-
chorus, yeah. I mean, the whole family kind of was. You got to understand, like, this is a musical backgrounded family.
Yeah.
Frank Reese, rest in peace, shout out Frank, was his father, and he was, in all kind of different bands. Like he toured with Rick James, and like he was on the road with like a few bands himself, and so like, there was always that background too, So music and so singing was always kind of there, but when he really started to really like, show people, because Drew was kind of shy when he was younger.
Oh, yeah?
He's always been like that real, like, low key, And so middle school is when he started to sing. Yeah.
So when you say he started to sing, did he just start singing like in front of you guys, or did he like start singing like?
Oh no, he sang in chorus. He sang and he
Oh.
he.
Did he start? But
When he started singing, he was singing.
Yeah.
He would definitely.
because that kid could sing
Yeah, he could sing.
ass off.
He was singing.
He was a beast.
Mhm.
Did he? Now you said you guys were doing talent shows. Did he ever do any talent shows where he was like just singing by himself?
No, see, the talent shows were more like either rapping or rapping and dancing. Like Drew was never really like showing. He would sing in the chorus, but he wasn't like trying to like be known as a singer at all. Even up until whatever time he did that as a gig. Like it was more like a way to make money, or like a hustle.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So where did it go from there then? Because he was taking it very seriously, and I truly believe if he had more time here that he already had stuff going on where, he had those dudes from like the Netherlands or whatever. Do you remember that? That he was- that he
Beats
was-
by the Bank. Beats in the Bank, yep. Shout out my boy. Those are my boys, I Forgot, and Beats in the Bank. We'll just say shout out Beats in the Bank over there, and that's in Norway. The Norway
Yeah,
Connect.
yep. So now, how did he? So what was the progression from high school to like actually like kind of like taking it serious? Do you know what I'm saying? Is it just that he got a little taste of it in high school, and then when he got out of high school, he just was like, "Yo, this is it. This is what I want to do."
I think that it's always been a thing that we did in the hood, and we got good at it. So it's a competitive thing of always trying to stay sharp as a crew, And then it got serious when I think Drew, his first scared with the brain surgery and stuff. Right after that, like right around that time, right before that time, I think is when it really started to get serious. When he wanted to like, because we have so there's another side of this too. Shout out my boy Mel and Justin. See, because Mel and Just were these other producers out here, and we used to rock with them a lot back in the day. And so they had a project that they were working on. So that was prior to him releasing like Cash's like the 06 transition, like all before that. Like, so I would say right around like 95. Right around 95 is when Drew started really taking it serious, 95, 96, 7, right after high school, right around like the end of high school.
When did he link up with Naughty? Did they know each other?
Yeah, Naughty used to live in East Providence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you guys have known him for a long time?
Yeah, we've known Naughty for quite some time, know his family. Yes. Yeah, shout out Jeremy Braza, let's say.
Braza.
Shout out Jeremy Braza. Yeah, I also want to shout out one other person, Rick Lopes. He was another person that was very intricate in Drew's musical upbringing. Shout out Larry Lassiter. These are people from out here that we kind of formulated this like here, small bond musically, and so I wanted to definitely shout them out on this.
So now, when it came to him, when he started taking it more serious, because this is before I met you guys, was he doing? I know he was in a Motown cover band, which I'm so mad I never went to go see him because I know it must have been amazing. But as far as you guys doing shows or him doing shows, did he get into doing a lot of local shows around here?
Yeah. We did a few shows out here.
What's the biggest show you guys ever did? Or the most memorable, like you look back like, yo, that was so dope.
I think the most memorable show was the KRS-One show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was like really good.
Opening for him?
Yeah, because
Did you get to chill with him after? Or was
see, that's the thing. It was at Lupo's, right?
Yeah.
Animal, you know who Animal C is? Shout out Animal C. He was drumming in the background. There's Finesse, DJ Finesse. Shout out Finesse. Shout out K-Love. We were rocking, and KRS came in and was like, "Damn, yo, I can hear y'all from the back out there. I had to come see who was in here. I had to come see who was in here rocking, man."
What up, man? You was just getting it in. What up, man? It's a legend of the making.
And so he showed up, and then like I was beatboxing, and he was rapping, and
Who,
KRS was rapping,
Yeah,
and Drew
your
was
beatbox?
rapping, yeah.
Now we all one being. Connect and understand this human being. Before you erase or enemy place, don't judge a brother by his face.
So it's all on YouTube. Shout out.
Oh,
you
word?
can get it on. It's out there somewhere.
Okay, I'm gonna
Matt
go, I'm gonna go
Netto.
look.
Shout out Matt Netto. He'll
Go
get it
looking
to
for
you.
that, though.
Yeah. But
That's dope.
I think that was the most memorable out here, definitely for sure.
What about you said out here? So do you guys do big shows like anywhere else, like New York or anything like that?
I mean, I've done small shows other places. I wouldn't say big shows, but yeah, I performed in North Carolina. I performed in Atlanta. And that's pretty much where I've been at in the South.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was probably before the South took
During.
over the
Yeah, that was definitely prior to the internet.
I remember a time when people used to be like, "Yo, the South sucks." It was a long time ago. It was like when
Yeah.
West Coast and we were popping, and people would make comments like, "South are trash. They don't got no," and then they just took over the whole thing. This shit was crazy. But anyways, all right, we're gonna pause for my commercial break. Now you're gonna hear from all my sponsors. I want to send a shout out to all my sponsors. First up, we got Big Ev Entertainment. They've been my sponsors for a long time, so huge shout out to them. Next up, we got Aftermath Alternatives, formerly APB Benny Vapes. They're a one-stop shop for all things vape and CBD related. Their wide array and products go hand in hand with their knowledgeable staff. They're located at 633 Park Ave in Cranston, Rhode Island. Their number is 401-461-1378. Mention Benny and get 20% off. Also, if you bring your parents or parent in to help them quit smoking, then they'll get 50% off. The owner, who is a good buddy of mine, is a huge believer that parents should be around for as long as possible. Make sure to check them out on Facebook and Instagram. Search Aftermath Alternatives. All right, now we have Mama Maggie's Doggy Treats. They are made by my longtime sponsors, Catanzaro's. They're 100% all-natural dog treats, no preservatives, no meat, and no artificial flavors or colors. It's made locally in Rhode Island and packed with vitamins and nutrients. A portion of all proceeds go to support Friends of Homeless Animals Rhode Island. Check out Mama Maggie's Dog Treats at mama-maggie.com or local stores like Shores Food Market and the others pictured on the screen. All right, next up, we've got one of my newest sponsors, Davio's Landscaping and Snow Management. They're located out of the glorious city of Woonsocket, Rhode Island. They're a full-service landscaping company that offers 21 years of in-field experience. They offer all aspects of service, from maintenance to landscape construction and snow management. They're fully insured and equipped to handle all your needs. So if you own your own home or business and don't want to deal with the snow, because it sucks, let's be honest, hit up my boy Nate, the owner, at 401-999-8200, or visit his Facebook page, Davio's Landscaping and Snow Management, and message him there. And also, you get 10% off for being a fan of my show. So mention Ben and get 10% off. And last but not least, we got my newest sponsor, Rachel Mercer. She's a talented tattoo artist, and she also makes steampunk, gothic-inspired jewelry. She tattoos at Studio 87, which is located at 271 Main Street in Webster, Massachusetts. She's been tattooing for over 9 years and making jewelry for over a year now. You could see some of her tattoo work at R. Mercer Tattoo on Facebook and Instagram, and her jewelry on Etsy.com under Steampunky Jewelster. Her tattoos are by appointment only, and if you mention my show, you get 15% off. So hit her up now. Also, your boy finally has some merch. I got long sleeve tees and I got regular tees, and I will have hoodies coming very soon. So show your boy some support and cop a shirt or two or three or four. And we're back. All right, now we're gonna have to get into some of the sad stuff, but it's just it's part of the story, and I don't know. Let's get into it. So, unfortunately, he had passed eventually from brain cancer that he fought for a long time. When was he first diagnosed with it?
Drew was diagnosed with brain cancer, I believe, in 2005.
2005, and he passed in wow, damn, really?
I believe so.
Jesus, that's a long time.
2006.
So the whole time he had it, he basically knew he had it, and he was at the danger of like passing from it like the whole time, or was it something that they said, hey, you got this, and maybe 10 years on down the road something could happen, or was it like, hey, we don't know what's going on type deal?
Well, he had a seizure, and so they brought him to the hospital. They diagnosed him, operated on him, and he got out the hospital very early. He had all his motor skills. He was like, very good. Yeah. So they kind of monitored him, put him on, chemo pills, and kind of monitored him and utilized it like that. And then it came back, so.
So when it came back, did they, like, how many did he go through? And I'm just asking because I don't know these answers. But is it something where he had to get operations a lot through the whole?
He definitely got operations. Yes,
Did
they definitely went to remove. That's why he had a scar on his head. And see, Drew is growing up, right? Like Drew was the pretty boy of the clique. I need you to understand, and I tell you that for real. And I mean, Drew was the man. Listen,
Chicks like him, and he could sing.
yo, Drew was the
Forget
pretty.
it.
Drew was the pretty boy of the crew. Okay, so that was his, like, and when he got diagnosed, he was so private, even to the family. It wasn't just like because Drew was private in public anyway, but even to the family he was private because he wanted to keep it to himself because he didn't want to alarm the family. So we didn't know how bad it was until it was bad, you know. Even though, you know, it was the doctors were close with the family, but he was very, very private with things like that.
Wow, that's crazy. So he fought it for a long time. He had multiple operations, and I feel like just from the time of me knowing him that I felt like he had a positive attitude towards it. You know, like I don't know how I or most people would deal with that. You know.
I think Drew just used his experiences and just turned it into something that he can motivate people with, because he became a motivational speaker for the Rhode Island Brain and Spinal Tumor Foundation.
Wow.
So he started to actually speak to schools, and he got on the board, and he did seminars with them. So as a surviving brain cancer, as a brain cancer survivor, he was doing that. So I mean,
Wow.
he used it as a stepping stone and a platform. And most people don't, you know. He's very different. He was built different.
I know that I remember. I don't know how many times, but I know he was definitely on the news before too for a story. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, he went on the road show.
Was it the road show?
Yeah.
Now, did they contacted him to be on that, and was it the same stuff to talk about being a brain cancer survivor?
Yeah, well, at that time, yeah, he was working on a lot of music, and he's always used that as a platform, like I said. But he was now working on music at that time, and trying to push the envelope with that.
Yeah. Yeah, like we were talking about earlier, he hooked up with those dudes from Norway. It's Norway, right?
Yes.
And they made dope
Harry West.
dope
Shout out Harry West,
beats.
man. Shout out Harry West.
How did he link up with guys from Norway anyway? So what's the story there? How do you do that? I know the internet, but still, like that's still, even with the internet, that's still like a reach. You know what I mean? It's so far away.
Yeah. So Drew was kind of touring a little bit around with Finesse, and he linked up with certain people, and one of the people that he linked up with, he did a track with, and Harry West got wind of it, and I Forgot got wind of it. Those are the two people, and they were in either Philly or Chicago at the time, and that's how they got it, and they ended up bringing it to Norway, and then wanted to do music with him. He ended up going out there because of a test drug for his brain cancer. The doctor, they gave him the Temidol. He wanted to meet Drew because he was doing so well with it that he wanted to meet him. So they collectively, Matt Netto, shout out Matt, and Drew went, and I don't know if I'm gonna shout him out, but you know who you are. He went out there, and they met up with the doctor, and he got a chance to kind of vibe with him and sit with him, and in that time, he said, "I'm out here too," and they ended up doing a song. So he ended up recording with I Forgot and Harry West, and there's a oh man, what's her name? I'm so sorry, I'm missing your name right now. But yeah, he was out there doing music. He mainly wanted to focus. He looked at it like, you know, there was a thing where I felt like he knew that his time was running out, so he wanted to move so fast, you know.
I remember a song he recorded with them. Now, in all his travels, like probably around that time, did he ever have like label interests, like major label interests or anything like that?
Yeah, there was a few labels definitely checking. Another part of the story is that, again, Mel and Justin Graham was working for Trackmasters at the time. And so there was that connection. And he also had other different connections in the industry, but it was mainly about getting the right package together before you know, because he was very patient.
Yeah.
Very, very patient.
Now, I know it's been a few years since he passed, but his music's really, I was trying to check, like his music's, I know it's been a while, like it's more about the internet nowadays, but it's not really online that much, or am I wrong?
No, I mean, well, it's on SoundCloud.
It's on
The
SoundCloud.
last stuff that he's, you know, some of the stuff he's done is on SoundCloud. He did another album with a guy by the name of Gene Doja, who also passed away, rest in peace. And that's available. Oh man. And what else is out there? There's
Is he on Spotify? He's not on Spotify or YouTube, I don't think.
No, you mainly can find his music on SoundCloud, but we're working on re-releasing some things and putting some stuff out there. Where there's definitely some things going on.
So what else? What else? Before we go, what else do you have coming up? You're putting out music too?
Yeah, I have a few things out there by the name of Big Roo and Fat, which is my partner over here. We have put out a few things on all platforms. You can check for that. BIGGROO and Fat PHAT. Double it up. You can see that. You can hear that. We working on some videos right now. Shout out my man, Abnormal Angles, Josh. See you, baby. And just kind of, you know, because I took a lot of time off. I took time off with this. I didn't even know if I was going to even get back into it.
It's a tough racket.
And it took me a while to kind of get where I'm at right now. And so, you know, there's a few people I can thank for that. And I'm glad I'm here.
So you are really trying to go at that?
Well, I'm trying to go at it from a production and writing standpoint. You know what I'm saying? I want to kind of write for people, whether it be R&B, you know, things of that nature, produce, you know, so like kind of that type of a angle. But if, you know, putting out an album, if that requires that, you know, I have no problem with doing that. Also I'm doing videography, so I'm a little bit behind the camera. So I'm just kind of working, you know, just kind of seeing where.
And don't you have something a song you just put out recently, no? That they can check out right now?
Yeah, you can check out a few songs. Let's see, Una Noche's out there, Big Roo and Polanco. Chit Chat is out there, Fat and Big Roo. What else? Who am I missing, bro? Wildin' Out, Lavish Lambs, Fat, myself, right now.
So yeah, he passed. It was February 7th, right? February 7th, and then you
Yes.
had the wake on Valentine's Day of that year, 2017, correct?
Correct.
Correct. I remember I went to that, and it was packed with people. You know, it was. I remember. Didn't they make like a little video collage when you walked in? It was like him performing, pictures of him, his music and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That was dope. I like that. Now let's really get into let's talk about this music foundation that you guys got going. Let's talk about that.
We formulated a Andrew J. Reese Music Scholarship Foundation. Right now, it is designed so that we raise money for those children that are perhaps less fortunate, that can't either afford a full scholarship. We are able to provide some monies for them, either that or equipment or books, or there's a multitude of different things that we can provide for certain individuals and children that are on their way, and that musically, obviously, we would like to keep that in the musical background. So, all you young people out there that are in these trying times right now, you're still at home and you're with your instruments and you're not sure if you even heard, you can still, kind of submit things. We have a website, Andrew J. Reese Music Scholarship Foundation.com, AJR Music Scholarship Foundation.com.
That's the website. AJR.
Andrew J. Reese Music Scholarship Foundation.com.
Now, I know you weren't able to hold an event so usually once a year you hold a big event for that, right?
Yes, we try to host it once a year. This past year, we wasn't able to get into that because of COVID, obviously. And obviously this year, once again, it doesn't look good. I mean, the venues are mainly indoors, so, we're kind of, we're rolling into the fourth quarter with this right now. We're not sure what we're going to do.
All right. And like I was telling you, I've been going to his Facebook page the last couple weeks, like preparing for this interview, and he still to this very day, man, gets a lot of love. A lot of people still tagging him in things, and I mean that's one good thing about Facebook. If you pass away and it stays up, is like people can still go look at your page, and they can almost like feel like you're still there for a minute. Tag you and things. There's a lot of people on there telling him, I love you, I miss you, I think about you every day. So he's a very, very, very loved dude, man. What was it like for your family when he did pass? Was it kind of was it a sudden thing? Like how long was he in the hospital before?
The thing about our family is that we've always dealt with our issues internally, right? So, the way that we dealt with it is we just dealt with it, when we formulated a plan and we tried to execute it to the best of our ability. Everything was, throughout this whole journey, everything's not always peaches and cream, There's always been times, we've had our issues, me and him, and we've always been able to still patch things together, and I'm glad for that, And then, a lot of the issues was me, honestly, seriously, But I want to say, our family always dealt with things internally. Very strong. All of my sisters are very strong. My mother, very strong. And my stepmother, very strong. So when it happened, or when things were happening, it was very easy. Well, I don't want to say easy, but it was very comforting to see that we could rely on each other and kind of lean on each other and formulate this bond. I mean, we all kind of took turns, in the hospital to kind of spend the night, and, spend time with him and stuff like that. I brought my TV over there. We watch movies and stuff, you know.
What kind of state was he in though? Could he still talk?
I mean, he was in the end, Drew. I don't know. Something happened where he lost his voice. He wasn't able to speak anymore, so he was whispering a lot, you know. That was definitely something different, you know. But yeah.
So like I was telling you, man, my best friend passed years ago, and I get signs from him all the time. He leaves me dimes constantly to bust my chops all the time. But it's it's a comforted thing. It's a comforting thing to know that basically I have like a guardian angel around me all the time. Does anything like that happen to you? Does he leave signs for you anywhere that you can pick up on all the time?
Yeah, Drew's always around. Man. It's crazy though because he's very subtle. He's always been subtle. Shout out my sister Lindsay. She just had a dream about him like last night, I believe. You know, shout out. But I'll give you an example. So, okay. So there was a time where so my sister wanted us to go to see this medium. I don't do this. You know what I'm saying? I usually don't, right? So like she wants us to go see this medium, right?
Yep.
And I'm like, okay. And we're at the beach and she's talking about it. And I'm like, man, I don't know, man. Do I really want to go see this? You know, like, and so we get there, right? And there's other people there.
Yep.
There were other like.
Yep.
So she goes around the room and certain people, she saw this and this person saw that or whatever, and like Drew didn't show up, you know. So I was like, okay, well that's. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry, you know, I didn't, we couldn't see anything or whatever. And so we're all like, all right, cool. And then like she was like, do you have a picture of him though? And I think my sister Kaylee, gave her a picture. And when she got the picture, she started like feeling something or whatever, right? And then she started talking about things that like only he would know. You know what I mean? And I'm like, now we're all crying. Like all four of us are crying. Like, and I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, this stuff is real. You know, that's when like the first, you know, he was around before that, but that's when I was like, okay, maybe, because I have, you know, a lot of different people on the other side will say, you know, so I'm just glad to know that he's okay, you know.
That's good, man. And like I was telling you earlier, I wanted to talk about the last time I talked to him. I'm kind of an idiot, but so me and him were talking to each other through Messenger, and it was something that he replied to me with. He put no question mark, meaning no question. And I'm such an airhead. I was like, what? What are you talking about? What? You're not my boy? Something stupid like that, because I'm an idiot. I'm hot-headed. It was just, I'm an idiot. So he called me, and he's like, Benny, what are you talking about? He's like, no question. Like, question mark means question. But it was good because I got to talk to him. We talked, and we were just like, I was like, it's a stupid story, but it was the last chance I got to talk to him. You made me check when it was earlier, and it was like a month and a half before he passed. So I'm glad that even if I'm an idiot, I'm still glad that I got that one last chance to talk to him. And we talked for like a couple minutes, you know, and this is, you know, right before. I mean, how long was he in the hospital? So was it like a couple weeks being in the hospital and then?
Well, no, I mean, he went through a few things at the end. I would say like a couple of months, you know. But we kind of kept it away from the public.
Was he in the hospital then? December? The middle of December?
He was about to go. He was on his
I
way.
wonder if he told me. I can't remember. I know that he used to have to do stuff all the time, so. All right, well, I want to end it with one last thing. If you could talk to him up in heaven right now and he can hear you right now, what would you say to him?
You know, that that question, right? Like heaven is everywhere. So I always talk to him. You know, like we always conversate. We always have our own conversations. What I think he would probably say if he was here, I could answer it like that,
Yep.
would be that he definitely appreciates the love that he still has, you know, and that people still remember the legacy, you know, because he did a lot, you know, and he wasn't the one to put it out there.
Nah, he
you
was
know?
humble, man.
So
He was a
the
humble
fact
dude.
that people still remember it, you know, is very, very gratifying for him. You know, I'm sure. So I'm sure he would say that.
All right, man. Yeah, I mean, if I could talk to him, man, I'd say we all miss you, man. You were definitely a loved and still loved dude, and I still hold you in high regard, man. Visited me while I was in hospital, you know, after almost dying, and that meant the world to me. And then just even answering the phone call when I was in jail for all those years, you know, just those are your two lowest moments in life, is like your deathbed and jail. And he was right there in both of them. And, you know, I'll always have love for you for that. And I'll try to do my best along with them to keep your name and your legacy alive. And yeah, anything you need me to do, like that, if you need help organizing that music foundation, getting a place to have the event done or whatever, man, if you need me to do anything.
Yes, anybody out there that has venues or different possibilities, we are looking, especially when it comes to outdoor capacity, would be, you know, between 200 at least, you know, 2 to 250. You can get in touch with us. Also, my sisters. You know, we're always open for ideas.
All right. Thank you for coming through. It's your boy Benny Blades, and I'm out.
Yeah. Love. Ace Diamond. As I travel down life's path, I learned so many things but moving right past. Not everything adds up, maybe the wrong math. Giving too many bad people part of my good half. Nobody's perfect, but man, I really try though. I try to watch what I say, but where does the time go? Negative females selling me retail. Material girls, piranhas acting like Madonnas. The evils enter my life too many times. Like J's 22s, not rims, but still I shine bright. Jewels, I throw with gems, but they hearts cold. Presenting themselves as diamonds, but they floor show. Always in fight mode, too many Pinot Grigios. Lot of scars on your heart, not from me though. Look in the mirror at yourself when you cry, boo. And not this man by your side, cause what did I do? I tried, and I don't wanna call it pride, cause there's too many cracks in your path, and I don't wanna ride. Nah, I don't wanna ride. Come on, it's so hard, but I gotta stay faithful. If your energy is bad, then I gotta replace you. And it's all love, I ain't tryna be hateful, but it is what it is, and I'm so grateful. It's so hard, but I gotta stay faithful. If your energy is bad, then I gotta replace you. And it's all love, I ain't tryna be hateful, but it is what it is, and I'm so grateful.